Jerry, welcome to Washington, D.C. We're not in Buffalo.
We're
in
not.
Washington, D.C., but we're the home of exiles. This is a wonderful place where a lot of my Bills Mafia folks hang out, especially during games.
If there's one thing I know about the Bills Mafia, Wolf, is that it travels extremely well, whether it be to New York from Buffalo or all the way down here to Washington, D.C. The bottom line is there are Bills fans across the map.
Mafia.
There we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
To a Bills Super Bowl.
God willing. Let's hope.
I feel like this could be the year, but I feel like that's every year.
Every year we wake up and we say the same thing. This could be it. The Bills could go all the way. Every year we say that, and then there's a little bit of disappointment.
That is true, but when it's too tough for them, it's just right for us.
And we're old enough to remember when the Buffalo Bills went to 4, not 3, but 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Yes.
And we lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah, but no other team has been to 4 Super Bowls in a row. So when you look at it that way, we're pretty gosh darn good run.
You're very optimistic.
I'm always optimistic. How can't you be with Josh Allen quarterbacking the team?
He's the big, beautiful Bill, as we say.
Oh, very, very nice.
He's the big, beautiful Bill, Josh Allen.
You know, I guess the question I have to ask you is, you know, the Bills, as we said, never won a Super Bowl. Why do you continue to root for the Bills?
Because I grew up in Buffalo, and I'm a very sentimental kind of guy. When I was a little boy in Buffalo, my dad would take me to the old stadium, and we would go to the Bills games. We didn't have great seats. We were usually in the end zone someplace, but we loved watching, you know, a bunch of players like Cookie Gilchrist, if you know Cookie Gilchrist.
I know Cookie Gilchrist.
Albert Dubenian, people like that. I grew up watching them. And so I became obsessed with the Buffalo Bills, and I love the Buffalo Bills.
You know, when I went up to Buffalo, one of the places I visited was the Anchor Bar, home of the original Buffalo Wing. And look at what we have.
Thank you very much.
Right here. Thank you, my dear friend.
Now, in case you've never seen this before, These are Buffalo chicken wings.
You know what? I have heard of the Buffalo chicken wing. It's pretty gosh darn good. I think it was created at the Anchor Bar in Buffalo in, I think, 1963 or 64.
Have you been there at the Anchor Bar?
I have. I was up there a few weeks ago. I was up in Buffalo. I saw a Bills game while I was up there. I was able to go onto the field after the game. I was able to do a snow angel in the end zone.
Oh, you were?
It was one of the best experiences. I met Thurman Thomas while I was up there,
Yeah.
Hall of Fame running back for the Buffalo Bills. He and his wife, Patty, are the nicest people, which again goes to the fact that the people in Buffalo are as kind as can possibly be. Should we try one of these?
Now, let me just point out to you, in case
Yes.
you don't know, when you eat buffalo chicken wings, you use your fingers.
Yes.
No knife and fork.
I
did that, and I got a lot of criticism for that.
But you know what? Now you're going in. Now
I dip it. You like it plain?
I like it naked. I like my wing naked because I like to taste the sauce. Let's have a bite of this. It's some good stuff. I mean,
very tasty.
It's easy to see how you can get addicted.
Now you know why we love buffalo chicken wings.
So I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You think the Bills are going to go all the way this year?
I think so.
Why do you think they're going to go all the way?
Because we got a great team, not just Josh Allen, who's great. James Cook,
Yes.
our running back.
Correct.
Do you know that the Bills, a few weeks ago, in connection with the holidays and everything, sent me James cookies?
Oh!
Have you ever had those cookies?
I've never had a James cookie.
They were delicious.
I've only had Josh's Jacks, the cereal, which of course has been sold in Western New York before. I love any of the Bills cereals. You know, I grew up in the 90s. I remember Flutie Flakes. I remember the Josh's Jacks. I used to say, and this is, I think, the thing that defines all Bills fans, is that you're with them, win, lose, or draw. And I think we got a couple of these Jacks. Oh, here we go. Look at these Josh's Jacks right here.
Wow.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the breakfast of champions soon to be.
Number 17.
That's exactly right. Number 17, Josh Allen. He's our Superman. There's no one else I want quarterbacking the team. When he's the QB, you're never out of
And
the
you think
game.
he'll be MVP again this year?
You know what? He's the MVP of my heart. And you know what? I know a lot of numbers about the Bills, and I'll give you one mathematical equation.
Yeah.
Josh Allen plus James Cook plus Dalton Knox plus Dalton Kincaid, the wide receivers and that offensive line, that equals, my dear friend Wolf Blitzer, that equals an offense that nobody wants to mess with. And when you combine it with a defense that makes the stops when it's necessary, I think that is a winning combination.
And when I see Josh Allen run, he's the quarterback, he gets the ball, and he's pretending he's going to pass it, but then he runs to the outside and scores a touchdown. How exciting is that?
I will tell you, when I was in Buffalo to watch those games, he had a 40-yard run against the Cincinnati Bengals. And the crowd, I lost my voice for 4 or 5 days because it's just so incredible. You're watching one of the best quarterbacks, in my opinion, of all time. And I just go to myself.
Touchdown. How exciting is that?
I will tell you, when I was in Buffalo to watch those games, he had a 40-yard run against the Cincinnati Bengals. And the crowd, I lost my voice
Yeah.
for 4 or 5 days because it's just so incredible. You're watching one of the best quarterbacks, in my opinion, of all time. And I just go to myself, man alive, we have been waiting for someone like this for such a long period of time. Or James Cook, he runs in a slivers.
James Cook is amazing.
He slivers in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and Allen throws these passes, and it's like, phew.
And you know what else I love? The tush push. Especially when Josh Allen does the tush push.
I think they call it, what is that, the snow plow. We call it the snow plow.
I call it the tush push.
You call it the tush push like Philadelphia. He goes, and, you know, he always goes off center, usually the left, and he dives over. It's like, what I like to say is the Bills, when they need 4 yards and it's third down, just run the snow plow twice. So pick up 2 yards.
It's a special moment for all of us.
Can I ask you your favorite Bills memory?
A lot of them, but I loved before there was Josh Allen, there was Jim Kelly, great quarterback.
Of course.
But I don't know if you're old enough to remember Jack Kemp.
Sure, who then served in the Bush administration.
He was a member of Congress after he retired from the Bills. He was a great quarterback. And I got to know him, not as a Bills quarterback, but as a member of Congress. I would go to his office and interview him, and we were talking about the Bills. And he then was a representative in Congress for my parents' district in Western New York, outside of Buffalo. And we would always talk about it, and he was just a great guy. So I always remember Jack Kemp and Darryl LaMonica.
Of course.
Cookie Gilchrist. I don't know if you remember a guy named O.J. Simpson when he played for the Buffalo Bills.
I do know. He was an MVP with the Buffalo Bills. And I remember Cookie Gilchrist, of course.
He was a great running back, and I loved the Bills in all those years. And I knew all the players, and it was just an exciting time for me as a kid growing up, watching my Buffalo Bills. And I still feel like I'm a kid watching my Buffalo Bills.
It's exactly right. They won 2 AFL titles in the 1960s. A lot of people don't know that. They won in 64 and 65.
Yeah.
And you were watching them at War Memorial Stadium. I think about the memories that I have, and I think to myself, my father, you know, I grew up in the Bronx, so my father was not a natural Bills fan. And you think about all these weird memories. And I remember in 2014, my father passed in 2015, so the 2014 season was the last season in which my father was with us. And I remember the Bills they brought in Kyle Orton as the quarterback. And they were playing, I think, against Minnesota and Teddy Bridgewater. And there was like 2 seconds left in the game, and the Bills had like one last chance to win it. Maybe it was 5 seconds, whatever it was. And he goes back and he throws a 1-yard touchdown pass to Sammy Watkins in the end zone. And I remember my father, who at the time was 87 years old, I think. I literally grabbed him and knocked him onto the couch. He was fine. But it was just one of those great things because the Bills, you know, they're just a part of our lives. They're part of our family.
And they've been so welcoming to me, and I love Buffalo, love everything about Buffalo. It was a great place to grow up, and it's a great place to visit. People haven't been there. Go to Buffalo. Not very far, by the way, from Niagara Falls. You've been to Niagara Falls.
No, I've been in Niagara Falls. You can hit up a wonder of the world, and I dare argue that Josh Allen is another wonder of the world as well.
He certainly is.
So, Bills win this year.
Let's hope.
There we go.
Let's have some chicken wings.
Sounds great.
And remember, go Bills.
Go Bills.